환영합니다. Welcome to K-Culture Dive, where we dive deeper into the heart of Korean culture with K-entertainment issues, AI culture news, and today our weekly K-sports segment. And I'm your host, Kwon So-wa. Let's dive in. And joining me this Tuesday is our co-host Bella Kim. Hello, Bella.
Hi, Soa, and hello to everyone joining us today on K-Culture Dive. I'm Bella, back again to co-host and fill you all in with some exciting K-entertainment news, especially focused on K-pop today.
Oh, let's get straight into it. So, Bella, we kicked off the week with some golden news with the song Golden winning a Grammy.
Yes.
And with this win, K-pop is getting more attention than ever, it looks like.
You're definitely correct, Soa. K-pop is definitely going up with its historic first win at this year's Grammy Awards. Golden from Netflix animated film K-pop Demon Hunters won Best Song Written for Visual Media, becoming the very first K-pop song to take home a Grammy trophy. And with this achievement, K-pop has now recorded wins across all 4 major US music awards shows: the Billboard Music Awards, American Music Awards, MTV VMAs, and of course the Grammys. Golden gained worldwide popularity with the success of K-pop Demon Hunters, topping both the Billboard Hot 100 and the UK official singles chart. The track was produced by Lee Jae along with K-pop hitmaker Teddy, composers from the Black Label, and also other composers as well. The team earned praise for seamlessly blending K-pop with the story of the film. And the industry experts say that this win signals official recognition of K-pop's artistic and cultural impact, further cementing its global influence. After hearing the news, President Lee Jae-myung shared a congratulatory message on his social media, praising the achievement as a new chapter in K-pop history and celebrating the success of Golden at one of the most prestigious music awards shows. And he added that the government of Korea will continue to support Korean artists to showcase their talents on even bigger stages.
And speaking of bigger stages, you have some updates on a huge stage by a group we cannot stop talking about, BTS.
BTS, yes. We've been talking about the BTS comeback non-stop. Well, they have released some more information about their comeback stage. According to their agency Hype, BTS will drop their new album on March 20th, followed by a comeback live performance on the very next day, March 21st at Gwanghwamun Square in Seoul. The concert, titled BTS Comeback Live 아리랑, will be held in front of a live audience and also will be streamed worldwide on Netflix. And it will be BTS's first official performance following the new album and will be their first appearance as a full group in about 4 years. The concert is taking place at Gwanghwamun Square, one of Seoul's most iconic landmarks, to amplify the group's signature message in conjunction with the release of their new album, 아리랑. All ARMYs out there, mark your calendars. It's 8 p.m. Korean time on March 21st, exclusively on Netflix.
That is really great news for all the ARMYs out there, the global ARMYs also, especially for those who didn't get tickets for the concerts because of the ticket frenzy we've been talking about lately a lot. And let's finish off with another K-pop boy group with a great achievement.
It's EXO. EXO have secured a Grand Slam by sweeping 5 major music show trophies in Korea with their latest release, Crown. This achievement is even more remarkable as EXO did so without appearing on any live stages. Despite their absence in broadcasting studios, the strong digital performance of the song and also overwhelming fan participation in streaming and voting propelled EXO to the top of several music programs, including Music Bank, M Countdown, and also Show Champion. Crown, a title track from their 8th album, is a hard dance song with a blend of trap drums, heavy metal guitar, and also EDM sounds. The song also remained at the top of major domestic music charts since its release, drawing the attention of listeners. And industry experts say that this Grand Slam is a clear evidence of EXO's brand power and mass appeal, showing that they can lead the chart with just the music alone. Meanwhile, EXO will kick off their 6th solo concert tour, EXOPlanet No. 6 X Horizon, at K-Expo Dome in Seoul from April 10th to 12th for 3 days.
Well, good job, EXO, and good job, Bella, with those updates, and stick around.
Will do.
Let's now go over to our AI anchor, Arang, for more on the culture front. Arang.
Thanks, Sua. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. An English language encyclopedia introducing Korean culture, from globally popular K-pop to K-food, fashion, and leisure, has been released. The National Folk Museum of Korea has published the English edition of the Encyclopedia of Hallyu, the first in the world dedicated entirely to the Korean wave. The book features 347 entries and some 600 photographs, covering Korean culture from food and clothing to global cultural icons such as BTS and Blackpink, as well as smash hit K-content such as Netflix's Squid Game and the Oscar-winning film Parasite. The English edition is available on the museum's official website and the Korean Folk Encyclopedia platform. The Korea Tourism Organization says it is focusing all of its efforts on bringing forward the era of 30 million foreign visitors to Korea. Park Sung-hyuk, the agency's newly appointed president, reiterated the goal at his first press briefing since taking office on Monday, as he unveiled the organization's strategies for this year. He said the government had originally set a target of attracting 30 million inbound tourists by 2030, but the agency now aims to move that goal up to 2028. To meet the target, it plans to roll out 10 major initiatives, focusing on advanced global marketing, expanding K-culture-linked tourism products, and accelerating the adoption of AI technology. The number of foreign visitors to Korea reached nearly 19 million last year, marking a record high. The government has teamed up with the popular mobile game Cookie Run to promote the 48th session of the UNESCO World Heritage Committee, set to be held in Busan this July. The Korea Heritage Service has signed a memorandum of understanding with game developer DevSisters to use the game's intellectual property to promote the World Heritage Committee meeting and raise awareness of its significance. As part of the efforts, the two sides will also jointly produce a media art video featuring Korea's 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and introduce a K-Heritage Run theme in the Cookie Run game. The Korea Heritage Service says the initiative is designed to help the public experience the value of national heritage in a more engaging and accessible way. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
It's been about a year since Korean temple food was designated a national intangible cultural heritage. Since then, the rising popularity has been drawing attention from audiences around the globe. Our culture correspondent Park Gun-woo takes a closer look at this trend.
Long preserved for centuries, Korean temple food is no longer enjoyed only by monks, but by food lovers from around the world. This growing interest can be partially seen at a temple cuisine restaurant in Seoul, operated by the Choge Order of Korean Buddhism, where reservations are often fully booked, including by visitors from abroad.
Today, it's a little bit similar to Japanese traditional food. It tastes more some taste of kimchi. This a little bit spicy food, but it was very delicious and. I love this delicate taste of this temple food.
Temple cuisine is also drawing strong interest from visitors outside of Asia.
What I think about is that everything is made with a lot of consciousness. I think the idea of food and also of the connection to the rest of the world, that everything is connected. Yeah. But this temple food was first time, but we will take it with us, of course, this idea, and we'll look for any opportunity also in Germany.
So it may seem like a lot of food and slightly different from what monks would normally eat in a single meal, but what we have here is a wide variety of traditional temple dishes. And one standout feature is that they don't use pungent vegetables, including garlic and green onions, nor do they use artificial seasonings. So let's give it a try. A wide variety of temple food includes whitewater kimchi, believed to aid digestion, winter spinach with sweet persimmon, crispy glazed mushrooms that surprisingly taste like meat, and buckwheat jelly with spicy kimchi. Bite after bite, slurp after slurp, diners keep tasting, some even lifting their bowls to finish every last drop. Thanks to its global popularity, temple food is also attracting more visitors from abroad, many traveling to Korea just to learn more about it. Building on this momentum, the Cultural Corps of Korean Buddhism is preparing to sign collaborative agreements to introduce temple food at prestigious culinary schools overseas, including the Culinary Institute of America.
Temple food is becoming so important because people recognize simplicity and the power of it. In a world full of industrial, Western, processed food, we want a healthy body and a healthy spirit with a healthy community, so that we can co-create a healthy world. And I would hope that all types of cuisines and culinary schools work towards that objective.
The Cultural Corps of Korean Buddhism even says reservations for temple food making classes are often fully booked weeks in advance. At the same time, the Choge Order of Korean Buddhism is pushing to have temple food listed as UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage. With tradition, philosophy, and growing global interest coming together, Korean temple food is now stepping onto the world stage. Park Gon-woo, Arirang News.
A single red line lies across the map, stretching 248 kilometers from the East Sea to the west. A deep, cold scar cuts straight through the waist of the Korean peninsula. It is the Armistice Line, better known as the Demilitarized Zone, or the DMZ. July 27th, 1953. On the day the gunfire ceased and signatures were inked onto paper, time in this land stood still. Panmunjom, the site of the world's quietest standoff. For more than 70 years, a heavy silence has settled over this cold concrete. But in this land of despair, where human footsteps have vanished, a remarkable paradox began to unfold. In isolation permitted only to nature, a new ecosystem, untouched by human hands, was born. Rusty barbed wire became a resting place for vines. The wounded earth healed itself, becoming a pristine, wild forest. On the day the wire is lifted, and true peace finally arrives, we will witness it at last. The wondrous beauty of a forest, preserved by decades of silence and solitude. A symbol of division and pain. Yet from the wounds of the past, it has risen, reborn as a sanctuary of life and hope. This is the DMZ.
Time now to dive into the world of K-Sports. And for that, we've got our sportscaster Jason Lee in the studio. Welcome back, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
All right, Jason. So we're just a few days away from the start of the Winter Olympics in Milan and Cortina. And I can't wait until we get into our Olympic preview. But what else do we have on the menu today?
Well, we had six Korean ladies competing in the LPGA season opening tournament of champions. I'll update you on how they did. Kim Shi-yu was in the hunt again on the men's tour. And is it possible that the Asian Winter Games could come to Korea in just 3 years from now? Well, that and, of course, as you mentioned, I'll have a preview as to what's going on with the Korean medal hopefuls at the Olympics is coming up.
Great. Okay, let's start with the LPGA then. We had a great year 2025 for the ladies on the tour, but did they have a good start off to 2026?
Another good start off, I guess you could say. Of course, you're referring to the fact that Kim Ah-rim won the LPGA season opening tournament of champions last year. So she is the defending champ, and it wasn't as successful as a year ago in that, well, a Korean did not win this time around. That's because American Nelly Korda was the actual winner. She took the event by 3 strokes over second place Amy Yang of Korea. I've got to say it's quite unfortunate for Amy as well as a lot of the other Koreans because the final round was actually canceled. So after the 3 rounds were played, they deemed it to be too windy, too cold. So they said, we're just going to end the tournament now, which does happen on occasion. So Nelly Korda was the champion. Meanwhile, 5 Koreans placed in the top 9, including Hwang Yumin, Lee So-mi, Ryu Hae-ran, and defending champion Kim Ah-rim joining Amy Yang as top 9 finishers. So the only other Korean competing was Im Jin-hee, and she finished 33rd. So all in all, for the most part, most of the Korean ladies did very well in the season opening event. It was just unfortunate that Amy Yang couldn't really push Nelly Korda for a chance in the final round.
Well, weather matters a lot.
I know, but it is impressive. 5 Koreans made it out of the top 9, right?
Yeah.
So very impressive there. So we've talked about LPGA. We're going to also talk about PGA now. Kim Si-woo in the hunt again this week, and this is kind of becoming a regular thing, it feels like.
Talk about it, right? He's been red hot to open the season. I mean, yeah, it was just last week he finished in a tie for 6th after enjoying the 3rd round lead for, well, at least a day. But this week at the Farmers Insurance Open, he tied for 2nd with 2 others, albeit 7 strokes behind the winner, Justin Rose, who broke the tournament record with his 23 under score. So a huge tournament that he had. But hey, Kim Si-woo finished 11th in the season opener in Hawaii just 2 weeks ago. So he's now finished 11th, 6th, and now 2nd. I think it's fair to say that he's due to win in the upcoming weekend tour in Phoenix. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Crossing fingers.
Yeah.
Yes, 11th, 6th, 2nd. He's
And
going
now?
up.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, and now let's move over to football, European football to be more exact. Lee Gang-in has made his first appearance of 2026 with Paris Saint-Germain. Tell us more about it.
That's right. Lee Gang-in had been out the past month and a half with a thigh injury, but he played this weekend as a sub. He entered the game at the 60-minute mark, and he made his presence made known immediately. He helped out on the deciding goal by Nuno Mendes. He didn't score the goal to make the immediate assist. He wasn't credited for it, but he did begin the play, so he was involved in everything. And just when you watch the game and the highlights, you can see how much that he had been contributing. Overall, he looked really good, not just offensively, but he made a couple of really nice defensive plays as well. He played really, really smart, and he looks to be back to his normal self. So, I think showing that he's played well here as a sub, perhaps we'll see more of him in regular time in both League One as well as the Champions League, and hopefully I'll be able to give some more positive updates on Lee Gang-in in the future.
All right, looking forward to that.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Jibong in Korean. Yes, and we want to now talk about something you mentioned in the preview. It might be possible for Korea to be hosting Winter Asian Games in 2029. So is this really happening? Is this really possible?
Wouldn't that be crazy if this
would be.
actually
Oh,
happened?
yes.
And let me just say that it's not a 0 chance. There is a chance. We're miles away from this being a certainty, but preliminary discussions are being held right now about that possibility. Now, why is this? I mean, after all, doesn't it take like 5 or 10 years to organize an event and to, declare a winner after the bidding process of all of this takes place? I mean, that's normally the case. But what's happened is Saudi Arabia was originally scheduled to host the 2029 Winter Games based on winning the bid back in 2022. Now, this was all part of their huge, $1 trillion NEOM project that included creating a ski resort in the desert. Yeah, amazingly difficult, but that's what they're trying to do. And you may have seen in the news more recently that some of those projects like the Line and Trojena, where the ski events were to be held, have not been progressing as planned. So they have since postponed the NEOM 2029 Asian Winter Games indefinitely. And Korea has shown interest in taking over responsibility to host those games. Now, remember, Korea last hosted the Asian Winter Games 1999. That was in Gangwon-do province. But of course, they just recently hosted the Winter Olympic Games in Pyeongchang in 2018. So they definitely have the ability to host the games. They have the infrastructure. The one challenge that they would have would be the opening and closing ceremonies. I don't know if you know this, but for the opening and closing ceremonies for the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, the stadium that was there that we all saw on TV, it was actually a makeshift stadium. They built it specifically for the opening and closing ceremonies and also for the Paralympic Games opening and closing ceremonies a couple weeks after. And then after those were done, it was all kind of brought back down and kind of shuttled off. So there's nothing actually there. There's no footprint left behind for the stadium. So if they were to host the Asian Winter Games in 2029, they would have to create a new stadium or maybe build another makeshift one. But that would be the one obstacle. And I'm sure those are things that are being discussed right now.
And I guess it was an economic decision for Korea back then with that makeshift stadium, probably.
I think because the problem for a lot of places, especially for the Winter Olympics, is you don't want to have a white elephant where you create a big 40, 50,000 seat stadium, and then after these games are done, what are you going to do with it? Right. All of a sudden, you have to keep the infrastructure up and employees keeping the maintenance level of things. So it can cost more than it's shared down the road. So I think it was actually a really smart decision to just do it the way they did, but now becomes the question, do they do that again?
Right.
But, and will they even get it? So it's a possibility. Once again, it's a slim chance, but at the same time, it is very possible.
It's a very interesting situation, far from a done deal.
Yes.
But if someone can do 빨리빨리 fast, it's Korea, I would have to say.
True. Yes.
All right, and speaking of Winter Games, let's go to the Winter Olympics and our preview. Jason, who are we previewing for the Milan Cortina Games today?
Well, I want to talk about the long track speed skaters of Team Korea. And they're often overlooked by Korea's short track speed skating team because they've been obviously so successful. But Korea's long track team, well, they've made great strides, especially over the last decade and a half. It wasn't until 2010 Winter Games in Vancouver that Korea ever won a gold medal in long track speed skating. And at those games, they won 2, as both Motaebom and Lee Sang-hwa captured gold in the men's and women's 500-meter sprints, respectively. Now, Korea typically doesn't do very well in the longer distances, like the 3,000-meter and the 5,000-meter. But, you know, I think those golds in Vancouver, they've brought a lot more anticipation and attention towards the sport. And of course, having the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics in 2018 right here in Korea, it's now provided Korea a top-notch long track skating facility to train at and to host events at. So for these games, Korea's hopes are going to lie with Kim Jun-ho in the men's 500-meter. I wouldn't call him the favorite, but he does have a win on the World Cup circuit this year in Calgary, and he placed 6th in Beijing just 4 years ago. So I think a medal would definitely be within his reach, even if he's not the favorite. And if things go his way, he could possibly come out with a gold medal as well. Now, another long track speed skating event that's kind of newer, it's become one of my favorites in the winter, is called the Mass Start. And this is basically like short track speed skating meets long track speed skating, because it's like short track, but it's on the big oval. And Koreans obviously have been very successful at this. Park Ji-woo is Korea's top female in the Mass Start, and she's actually going to be Korea's flag bearer for the opening ceremonies, along with figure skater Cha Jun-hwan. On the men's side, Jung Jae-won is the guy to keep your eye on, and as I've mentioned before, it's a really fun event to watch.
Definitely looking forward to that. And before we let you go, Jason, what are you looking most forward to for the Olympics?
You know, Okay, so I used to be an NHL reporter when I worked in Vancouver. So a lot of people think that hockey is like my favorite sports at the Olympics. But to be totally honest, that's the last thing that I like to watch. Because I can watch NHL hockey and like top level hockey all the time at the professional level. So when it comes to the Winter Olympics, I actually prefer watching the people that you only really care about every 4 years. So watching your speed skating events, watching curling, watching snowboarding and things like that. So I think those are the things that I'm going to enjoy most. In terms of which athlete am I going to be most interested in, hands down, it is Chae Ga-eun in the snowboarding, the 17-year-old Korean sensation. Of course, Chloe Kim, the American sensation. She's going after an unheralded or an unprecedented third straight gold medal. But look out, because Chae Ga-eun has been red hot as of late. I think this is going to be a real interesting battle to watch.
Okay, so next week we're probably going to have some results already to talk about.
Absolutely, yes.
So looking forward to that, and thank you very much for today's sports updates, Jason.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to have you back here on Thursday.
Yes, I'll see you back on Thursday.
And thanks for watching and your interest in everything K-culture. Please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time. Keep diving.